Madam President, I move that the board approve the October 10th, 2022 agenda.
Second.
All right. Time for report of board members. Does anybody have anything they'd like to report?
I just wanted to report that I had the opportunity with Beth Plank and Josh Usted to visit Raytown and the middle school as well and see the updates and progress with construction. It was very exciting to see a lot of the changes that have been made in the media area and in the music room at Raytown. And it was emphasized how much we need an auxiliary gym. When we got in, there were a cheer squad in the front lobby practicing because they had no other place to practice because of a game that was going on in the gym. So it was eye-opening and it was very interesting and made me quite hopeful for the future.
Thank you.
Just a couple of these are probably long overdue, but just I was really, oh, I have to do that. Let's try to use it. So it was really a pleasure to just see some of the things like our sports with our football games, the play women, and just a little legwork on my own. I'm part of a trauma team. This is outside of Raytown, and just hoping to use some of that knowledge in some of the decisions we make here. And then I'm part of a cohort, a group of other board members across Missouri and Kansas, because I think there is power in collective knowledge, you know, and some of the times that we're going to face maybe some very difficult decisions, but there's also hope. So those are just some things I've been up to.
Well, it has been a really busy month. I've had the pleasure of going to the Raytown South cross country meet where Raytown and Raytown South represented really well. That was a good meet. I believe we had 7 of the top 10, maybe 8 of the top 10 in that race. So way to go, guys. And then we had the Raytown High, Raytown football game, which was fun. And everybody that was there got to see the landing of the helicopter.
Yes.
We thought it was Dr. Martin Knox making her approach. That was not your tax dollars at work. I want to reassure you that. So, and then I too got to see the play women at Raytown High. And then we went to the Toast of the Town Truman Heartland Gala. I believe Donna was there, Terry was there, Rick was there to honor our Citizen of the Year, Raytown Citizen of the Year. Some guy named Dr. Markley, I believe, was honored at that. And then I got to see the Raytown High Green Valley boys soccer game, a little bit of that. And kind of along the lines of sometimes we do things outside of board responsibilities. So 2 weeks from today, I get to speak with a intro to politics class out at Mid-American Nazarene University. They've asked me to come in and present what is a board member, what do they do, what are our responsibilities, how do elections, and stuff like that. So I'm excited to represent us to the future generation through that. So thank you. All right, next up, we are going to move our presentations and recognitions up. So if we could do, did you know, readiness?
Good evening, Board of Education and Dr. Martin Knox. We had a great kickoff for Caring with Kids. It was great to be back with all of our partners, and they are really excited to get back into our schools to support staff and students. The Alumni Hall of Fame induction for the class of 22-23 is coming up November 4th and 5th. We look forward to welcoming alumni for this very special event. You can also find a full list of the inductees on the Did You Know sheet. Also, if you haven't heard, we are on Instagram, so please come follow us at Raytown Schools. We have some unique content there. This month, you will see us highlighting our principals for Principals Month. And finally, we have staff and students we want to recognize for being a ray of hope. We have a video to play to learn a little bit more about them. And I would like to ask Ms. Sanders and Rachel and the family of Aiden Link, who couldn't be here today, to come up so we can present them with the certificate. If Dr. Martin Knox and Mrs. Plank, if you could join us as well.
So at this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize Dr. Alan Markley, the former superintendent here in Raytown Quality Schools. I thought it would be most fitting that not only would we just recognize him, but by putting his picture on the back wall, but instead having him come and join us so we can publicly recognize you for the work that you've done here in the school district. So at this time, without further ado, I'll let Ms. Plank read a special set of words for you.
Dr. Markley, since 1903, 10 superintendents have preceded your time in the position of superintendent, each having left a legacy on our district. It is an honor to place your picture and name alongside the administrators that have made the Raytown School District a bastion of education in the Kansas City metropolitan area. During your tenure, you honored the history of our buildings by keeping maintenance and upgrades at the forefront of your focus. Additionally, you use those buildings rich with heritage to invest in the lives of our students, families, and staff members. Through curriculum, extra and co-curricular programs, hands-on enhancement opportunities, sports programs, and employee health. After your 13 years of diligent and dedicated service, you have left our district better than how you received it. For that, we are grateful. Most importantly, though, was the culture you created of meaningful relationships. It was our pleasure to watch from the sidelines as you interacted with students at football, basketball, and baseball games, PTA events, concerts, honors nights, and the penultimate event, graduation. This will be the most important legacy that you will be remembered for, one that touched everyone in the district, including our own children and families as board members. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You came as a colleague and you leave as a friend.
Would you like to say something?
Well,
He's never without
you know me, I'm always short on words. You know, every now and then, someone gets an opportunity, like that was saying, to make a difference. And, you know, almost 15 years ago, when we came up here, these two right here were 3 and 4. This one did not exist at the time. And we left all of our family. I told this story before. We left all of our family in Southwest Missouri. And we took a chance. And what did we find out? That this is a place that, like no other, that you can instantly become a family member. And that's the way this school district has been for me, and I know for many over the years. These two here on the end were on board when I was hired. And you can tell that all that rich tradition and history, board members that have been on that for a long time, staff members that stay forever. I can see some of them in the crowd right now that have been here much longer than I have. So that is the crown jewel of this. And employees like this, playing with children and smiling, there's no replacement for that. And I always told our employees that I'm most thankful for what they do for kids, especially my own. And blessed my boys have been here. And it would not have all been possible unless it's laying in red. They didn't like me very much, but grew to love this place as much as it's home for us. And these two have something that I never had. And they call Raytown home. Not Raytown South, Raytown. Raytown is home. And it's their home. And they ask, they're not afraid to tell people where they're from. That's, I think, part of the attitude that's instilled in my kids. So thank you for letting me be just a little part.
So family, if you would come up so we can get a picture of you as well. Sure.
Okay. Kathy Markley, who I met when she was 15, I was 17, and kicked the last school in Springfield. oldest one, freshman, what's his name? What was that? At UMKC, just graduated. Luke Markley, senior at Raytown High, and Joshua Markley, a sixth grader at Central Middle.
She can stay if you'd like. I'm sorry. Smile. Now, if you would do me the honors, if we can go over and place your portrait on the wall.
I want it to be known that I have hair, not much. Fighting the last couple of days, coming out here, I really like to stay. Tossing and turning, but I decided to. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for that. We're gonna go ahead and do the report of superintendent. Once she
Good evening.
takes a breath.
Good evening, Chairwoman Frank. And thank you to all of our honorees before you leave. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. So we're going to move forward to the report of the superintendent. Items 8.1.2.3.4 and 0.5 have all been provided to you for your review. 8.6 has also been provided to you. At this time, I would ask Dr. Weinert and to come to the table for 8.7.
Good evening, Dr. Martin Knox, Board of Education. Mrs. Johnston. So last month, we had some conversation around or maybe it was August, we had some conversation around the attendance incentives that the district has utilized for the last few years that included a couple of vehicles that the district provided to students who were chosen. And so tonight, board just wanted to share some of the alternatives that the district is pursuing this year, albeit not quite a new vehicle, does provide some very meaningful incentives for our kids. These incentives are things that our kids have asked for. And so we appreciate Sarah Oliver and her work with all of our buildings around really creating good momentum to encourage our students to attend school every day, not just because it's good for them to learn, but also there are some fun things for them to engage in at the school and some prizes that we provide to our students based on their exemplary attendance. So be happy to entertain any questions the board might have around our planned attendance incentives for 22-23.
Dr. Garner, could I get you just to kind of lay out a basic what we're looking at and how many students it'll affect?
Sure. Could you pull that up? 8.7. Thanks, Kevin. Oh, sorry, 9.7. So this is an overview of, so McDonald's gift cards are a big hit for our students. And so these are the plan for kids to get based on attendance of 90% or higher. There is 4 cards to be distributed to students each month. And then also for some of our students that are on specific plans, because they may historically have had challenges related to coming to school. And so those individual grade level support team plans, students that are making good progress, we're also acknowledging their progress as well as our kids that maybe have the highest attendance in each of those buildings. We also have at the middle level, similar plan with 3 gift cards for, again, our 90 for 90 students, as well as kids that are making good progress. And then we have some end of the year prizes that are going to be provided to students, again, who have maintained 90% attendance from September through April. I think there's a second page. So again, we do have district funds, about $4,000 towards these attend to win incentives. And this allows us to really spread out the recognitions for all of our secondary schools and to have monthly recognition events for them.
Quick question. Is there any way we could add something with Northwood and RSA in here too? Can we include them in this event?
Of course.
Madam President, this incentive is coming from the district level. Are individual schools participating in any type of program themselves to incentive?
Yeah,
as
they
incentives?
do. Each building, they've worked with Sarah Oliver to develop additional incentives beyond this that are very building specific. Exactly what they're doing, I'm not quite sure, but I know that Sarah works with each building to try to develop a lot of that camaraderie and momentum towards high levels of attendance. And each building has their own school leadership team that works to develop what those plans are that are unique to each high school or each secondary school.
And for, I'm sorry, for Raytown South and Raytown High, how many students typically reach that 90% attendance?
I think our percentages for August and September have been in the 70s for the percentage of kids that are attending 90% or more school. I don't have those exact percentages in front of me.
So 70 out of each 100 students are achieving 90% attendance?
70% of our total school population at each of those schools are attending at least 90% of the time. So at Raytown High School, about 1,400 students there, about 70% of those kids are attending at least 90% of the time.
And which is remarkable, I think. And they will receive a random opportunity to receive a $10 McDonald's gift card.
Yes, ma'am. In addition to the other
Whatever
incentives that the buildings have come up with on their own, but these are district funds spread out to reach all of our secondary schools.
Thank you.
I have a question at the building levels. Are they incorporating student voice for these incentives as they're coming up with plans? I think that is very critical because the buy-in. And so, you know, they're critical stakeholders. So having their input on things that would incentivize them would be useful.
Yeah, I know Sarah's, as she's worked with each of the schools to get input on what kind of gift cards we want to make available, whether it was the main event or the McDonald's. Certainly students had input on that. And then in terms of what they develop at their own schools, students are definitely part of that process as well.
As part of my report from the Raytown Education Foundation, they also do an incentive for students at the high school and elementary and middle schools. And their first one starts, well, this week. It's is at each Trister, they do something. And this Trister, they're honoring those students that have 5 or fewer tardies. And each one of them that does will get something during their lunch shift, a treat, some type of that. And then I'm not sure what they all are for the rest of the year, but each Trister, they're gonna emphasize something else, whether it's tardies, absence, whatever. Martha might tell us that later. But anyway, so there is different recognitions for students where more kids are involved each Trister. And the elementary gets theirs too, and the secondary gets theirs too, or middle school gets theirs too.
So I just want to make sure I understand. I understand the incentive of the car and why that's not feasible. And I understand wanting to provide something to more students. Are we doing that? Is this going to reach that goal of encouraging students? A random draw for 4 $10 McDonald's gift cards, would that incentivize our students enough to keep them encouraged to attend, excited about attending, and knowing how much we value their attendance and that investment in their education?
Well, Donna, I think this is a part of a larger plan for our kids to be encouraged and engaged in school. We're not able to give every student a gift card, although if they attend at least 90% each month, they're eligible for it. So I think this in and of itself, no, but as part of a larger conversation around how we engage our students in meaningful instruction, how we reward them for making good decisions. This is part of a larger conversation that we're having that involves our kids and our staff and our families around how we can get them excited about coming to school. So I don't think this in and of itself does that, but it certainly is part of that message.
And my concern is the small part that it plays in that message. Is that the impact that we want to come from the district? But I do applaud the plan. I do applaud being a part of that overall message. My concern is, does it share what we consider to be extremely important? Does it send that message?
So if we're hitting about 70%, what is our goal? Where do we want to be? I mean, I know we want to be 100%, but realistically, what would we like to see an increase to throughout this year?
So as part of each school, their school improvement plans, which I'll be bringing more information to the board in December about, each school will set a growth goal regarding 90 for 90 attendance based on their end of October, their current reality through the end of October as the baseline. And then they will set a goal. So that is their X. We want to move from X to Y. So Y is the growth by the end of the year. That will be actually part of every school's school improvement plan. So what we'll be able to share with the board are each school's individual attendance goals, each school's individual behavior goals, and then each school's individual student academic achievement goal. And then also each school's trauma smart or social emotional learning goal. So that will be shared with the board. In December, we're in the process of building those now, and they'll all be very unique to each of our schools.
Thank you. Yes.
I just wanted to, I understand, I like the idea, I like the fact that each month, so is that for 1 semester or 2 semesters each month?
So there'll be recognitions for the prior month's attendance for kids that are at 90 for 90 for that prior month.
So it's not the same students get that $10.
Correct. Different students every month. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, it may not seem like a lot, but I really think it's great because I like that second part. That second part gives those kids that are down there that used to improve gives them something to reach out to.
Mhm.
And I know these are seniors, juniors and seniors, but still, or no, I'm sorry, seniors. But still, it's just the idea that you're giving them something, you know, and the opportunity to win. So I commend you for you and the staff.
Thank you, Dr. Griner. And if I might reiterate, it is so important for all of our children. So consider this a plug for us all to grab a child and make sure our children come to school. What we do know is if students don't come to school, then they're missing the opportunity to learn and engage. And the research out there says that we can predict students who will drop out of school if they have poor attendance, poor behavior, and poor course performance. And attendance is